Today we're jumping right into a really interesting topic, Systemic Functional Linguistics, or SFL for short. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with what SFL actually is. Then we'll unpack its core idea, these things called the three metafunctions. From there, we'll see how it all relates to context and genre, and we'll wrap up by looking at how SFL is used in the real world. Okay, so first up, what exactly is SFL? Well, at its heart, it offers a completely different way of thinking about language. This theory was pioneered by the linguist M.A.K. Halliday, and here's the main idea. SFL isn't about memorizing a bunch of abstract grammar rules. Instead, it sees language as a social tool, a resource we use to get things done and to express meaning in different situations. It's fundamentally about what language does.
And this comparison really gets to the core of it. A traditional structural approach would look at a sentence like, colorless green ideas sleep furiously, and just say, yep, grammatically correct. But an SFL approach asks a totally different question. Okay, but what does this sentence actually do? In what real situation would it ever make sense? You see, SFL is always focused on the why behind our language choices, not just the how.
Now, this focus on function leads us to one of SFL's biggest ideas, that whenever we use language, we are actually doing three things all at once. These simultaneous jobs are called the metafunctions.
And here they are, the ideational, the interpersonal, and the textual. Just think of these as the three jobs that language is always performing in the background, whether we realize it or not.
First up, the ideational function. This is all about how language represents the world. It's how we talk about things, describe events, share facts, and explain our own experiences. You could say it's the what's going on part of our message.
Next, we've got the interpersonal function. Now, this is about language as action. It's all about how we interact with other people, how we build and manage relationships. Are you making a statement, asking a question, giving a command? Are you being friendly or formal? This function handles the who are we to each other aspect.
And finally, there's the textual function. Think of this one as language as organization. It's the glue that holds everything together, making our sentences flow into text that actually makes sense. It organizes all that ideational and interpersonal meaning into a logical message.
Let's look at a super simple example to see how this works. Take the phrase, pass me the book. The ideational part is clear. It's about a book and the action of passing. Now look at that functional row. That's the interpersonal job. It shows the goal here is a request. And then the discoursal row points to the textual function. By using the book, the speaker is connecting to a specific book that's already part of the conversation, creating a link to the context. Pretty cool, right? All three jobs happening in just 4 words.
So you can see just how important context is to all of this, and it's absolutely central to SFL. The big question then is, how does SFL systematically analyze the situations where we use language? It does it through the concepts of register and genre.
In SFL, when we say genre, we're not just talking about movies or novels. A genre is really any culturally recognized type of communication. A casual chat, a scientific report, a legal argument, even a weather forecast, they're all considered genres because they have predictable structures and a clear social purpose.
So how can we see this idea of a structured genre in the media we see every single day? Let's take a really common example.
A YouTube makeup tutorial is a perfect modern genre. It has a clear, predictable structure, or move structure as SFL would call it. It almost always starts with the greeting, then states the purpose, then comes the step-by-step tutorial itself, and it almost always ends with a call to action, right? Like and subscribe. This predictable pattern is exactly what makes it a genre.
This brings us to our final section. How is all this theory actually used? Halliday himself described SFL as an applicable linguistics, meaning it was designed from the very beginning to help solve real-world problems.
And its applications are incredibly broad. In education, it's led to something called genre pedagogy, teaching students to write powerfully by mastering the specific structures of essays or reports. It's huge for English for specific purposes, helping doctors or lawyers communicate more effectively. It's also foundational for discourse analysis, used by forensic linguists to analyze evidence, and it even helps us understand how images and gestures create meaning alongside words.
Here's a concrete example from academic research. This study is looking at formulaic sequences for the IELTS writing exam. This connects directly to SFL's ideas about genre, in this case the specific Task 2 essay, and how certain language choices contribute to a text's coherence and effectiveness, which are of course key assessment criteria.
So the crucial takeaway here is this. SFL completely reframes our understanding of grammar. It's not just about a bunch of rules for what's right and wrong. It's a powerful toolkit, a system of meaningful choices that we all use to navigate our social world, represent our experience, and build coherent communication.
This video is brought to you by the IELTS Focus, an English center specializing in IELTS preparation.